Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ash, and this is my channel, Ash Knows Travel, where I go over everything travel. And today we are covering the topic travel insurance. Do you really need it? So I'm going to really go over this topic because as a travel advisor, I mess with all different types of travel insurance all day long. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some instances where you might not, you might consider it, but in reality, we really need to kind of think about our vacations these days as investments and how much we want to protect them. So when I refer to insurance, I'm referring to that protection of that vacation, right? So let's get into it and cover all things travel insurance. So, what is typically covered when it comes to travel insurance? We have trip cancellations. That's what most people buy travel insurance for because they want to be able to get money back, whether it's a credit or a cash refund when their plans change unexpectedly. Medical emergencies is honestly one of the biggest things it covers. It's the biggest one that a lot of people don't think about because you never know what can happen when you are, traveling around the world, when you're on a cruise, when you're at the resort, and it will provide coverage for your hospital stays and treatment when you are international. Lost baggage. A lot of the times, especially when you go international, they do have a chance of losing your baggage. So it will compensate you for any missing or damaged luggage or even delayed luggage. And lastly, weather disruptions. Um, that's very common, especially in America. Hurricane season, snow season, all the in between of that. You would be surprised how many flights get delayed daily because of weather. So it also will cover any kind of, um, you know, issues when it comes to delayed flights, or let's just say you need compensation because the flight got canceled. It will help with that as well. So moving on. When insurance matters the most. So international travel is really when you need to. If you are going international, get travel insurance, please. Just hear me out. Because your health insurance will not typically work overseas. You would think it would, but United Healthcare does not typically work overseas, right? Like, it's not going to go that far. Strict cancellation policies and medical evacuation risk. If you're on a cruise and something happens to you, your insurance doesn't cover international waters. So you typically have to pay that before you get off the ship. I've seen some instances where it bills out because it was so much, but something simple as taking a little trip to the ER, or even maybe sometimes going to the clinic, can cost you in the thousands areas. Group trips. Oh goodness, this is a good one. Ooh, if you're doing a group trip, get insurance because I have had in the 3 years, every time I've gotten close to a group, somebody always cancels. They're not going to all cancel, but somebody's going to cancel. And if it requires you to cancel the whole trip, you want to get your money back, some sort of money back, right? I would rather lose out on 70, 80 bucks per person in insurance than an entire deposit. Non-refundable vacations. Most vacations are non-refundable, especially if you're one of those people that want to buy the cheapest price. That's fine, but it's definitely non-refundable unless you see it in writing that it says you will be refunded and it has to tell you how with a credit or cash. It is non-refundable. Always believe that. Okay. Now, when it comes to non-refundable vacations, especially when booking through me, if it includes a flight, they typically have higher rates for deposits. You want to get your deposit back, so put that insurance in there, right? And any prepaid expenses, for example, like excursions, etc., transfers, all of that, you want that money back too. So make sure you get any kind of insurance for non-refundable vacations. What is the real cost of going uninsured? Medical evaluation starts in the 50 plus thousands area, right? Average cost from overseas back to the United States. Another thing, if something happens and you have to get flown back to the United States, another thing can cost you thousands of dollars. A hospital stay starts at 3,000 plus, most foreign countries. Trip investment, amount of potentially losing without coverage. 100%. Absolutely. If something were to go wrong, you could lose the entire trip on most investments that you make on trips. So, success stories. I've had this happen to me when it comes to different clients. Hurricane cancellation. This happened when I booked a cruise for somebody in September. There was right up into it, there was a hurricane that was planned, and it was roughly about 3 weeks out. And they were able to get reimbursed for what they paid, but they ended up just rebooking the cruise. Okay. And then I've had a medical emergency in Mexico where somebody hurt themselves at a resort, and insurance helped with that. And then I've also had, oh, this was a good one. Oh man. Somebody was flying in for their cruise, and for some reason, the Miami airport shut down like all of the flights. And I was able to use their insurance for that, for them to get compensated, because they ended up having to rebook flights and they had to do a stay and all of that extra stuff. So insurance helped with that because it was out of their hands and they covered weather issues. So let's talk about the decision process for insurance. Purchase policy, read the fine lines. Some travel insurance will be super cheap, okay? Make sure it covers what you need, because it sometimes won't. Sometimes it'll be only like basic coverage, like if you were in the hospital or if you died. I know, it's deep, but it's true. Assess your risk tolerance. Consider what you can afford to lose. If you're cool with losing out on what you invested, then don't do it. But if you are investing a lot of money into your vacation, protect it. Calculate total non-refundable cost of how much you would lose if you had to cancel, and then understand trip specifics, like the destination, of what can happen at the destination, the activities that you're doing, and how they can affect you. And then, of course, the timing factors of when your trip is booked. What season is it? How many people are going? Who is going? Okay? Think of it like a regular insurance policy, but it covers you before, during, and after the trip. So here is comparing the coverage options. Basic, it's always going to include trip cancellation, a little bit of the medical, barely any of the baggage, and then if there was ever evacuation. Okay? Evacuations can happen sometimes. Like, for example, if a tsunami comes, random, but it's happened. Think about it. If you get to an island and there's a hurricane coming and you thought it was going to miss you and now it came your way, right? Things like that can happen. So consider what the type of coverage it is and what is provided. So lastly, I have great news for you. You may have already had your trip booked and you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, well, I already have my trip booked, so this is going to pertain to me in the future. Not necessarily. In some instances, we are able to get travel insurance through my supplier called Tinleg. I'm going to provide you the link for them in the description here, and you can get a free quote from them, and you can pick the coverage and do all of the above. And honestly, that is probably the best travel insurance I have seen around. So check out the link in the description if you need travel insurance. Even if you've already booked your trip, you can still qualify most of the time. So feel free to check it out, review their policy options, and purchase that peace of mind for your travel, okay? Don't think about, well, I'm not going to cancel it, so it's fine, I don't need it. It's not covering just that. It also covers while you're there, all right? And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. Thank you so much for watching. And make sure you like this video if you have found value in it. And make sure you also subscribe to my channel so you will get updates of my live streams, because I'm always sharing travel knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you soon.